The space around the Caleth Nebula was dark and quiet. Strange purple clouds of gas floated between the stars. This was a dangerous place where honest traders feared to go. Pirates lived here, hiding in the gas clouds like sharks in murky water. Captain Thexvor stood on the bridge of his ship, the Blood Talon. His green scales caught the red light from the control panels. His yellow eyes scanned the space ahead, looking for prey. Behind him, his crew worked at their stations. They were all waiting for the next victim to arrive. "Captain," said Zixtal, his second in command, "we have a ship coming through Sector 7. It looks like a trader." Thexvor's mouth curved into a smile, showing his sharp teeth. "What kind of ship?" "It's small. Maybe a cargo hauler. The scans show it has very few weapons, just basic shields and some old guns." "Perfect." Thexvor walked to the main screen. "How many crew?" "4 beings, sir. The ship is called Soul's Pride." Thexvor had been a pirate for 20 years. He had attacked hundreds of ships from dozens of different alien races. Most aliens begged for their lives when they saw his weapons. Some tried to fight, but they always lost. His ship was 3 times bigger than most traders. His guns could blow a hole through a moon. "Move us closer," he ordered. "But stay hidden in the gas cloud." The Blood Talon moved through the purple mist. On the screen, they could see the small cargo ship moving slowly along the trade route. It looked harmless. Its hull was gray and simple. No extra armor, no big weapons sticking out from the sides. "They haven't seen us yet," reported Zixtal. "Good. Let them get comfortable first." Far away, on the bridge of Soul's Pride, Captain Lee Deho sat in his chair. He was a human, though the pirates didn't know this yet. His black hair was cut short. His brown eyes looked calm as he watched the stars. "Captain," said Kim Sora from the navigation station. She was also human, with long black hair tied back. "We're entering the nebula now." "Good," Lee Deho replied. His voice was quiet and steady. "Any contacts on the scanner?" Park Woo-jin looked up from his engineering station. He was a young man with kind eyes. "I'm seeing some strange energy readings in the gas clouds. Could be natural, could be ships hiding." "Probably ships," said Choi Yuna from the communications desk. She was small and looked very young. "This area is known for pirate attacks." Lee Dae-ho nodded slowly. "Keep scanning. Let me know if anything gets close." The 4 humans continued their work. They didn't look worried or scared. They looked like they did this every day. Back on the Blood Talon, Thexvor was getting excited. "Look how slow they're moving. They have no idea we're here." "Should we attack now, Captain?" asked one of his crew. "Not yet. I want to see what they're carrying first. If it's valuable, we might want to take the whole ship." Zixtal pressed some buttons on his console. "I'm scanning their cargo hold now." He waited a moment. "Captain, this is strange." "What?" "The cargo is very heavy. Much heavier than it should be for the size of their hold." Thexvor frowned. "Maybe they have dense metals. Rare earth elements are always valuable." "Maybe. But Captain, there's something else. Their power readings are weird." "Weird how?" "The ship is using more power than it should need. Like they have extra systems running." Thexvor waved his hand. "Probably just old equipment. These small traders always have junk that wastes power." But Zixtal looked worried. In his many years as a pirate, he had learned to trust his feelings. Something about this ship felt wrong. On Soul's Pride, Choi Yuna turned to her captain. "We have company." "How many ships?" Lee Dae-ho asked. "Just one so far. Big one. It's hiding in the gas cloud about 10 kilometers away." "Can you tell what kind?" Park Woo-jin checked his readings. "The energy signature looks like a Valaxian dreadnought. Probably pirates." Kim Sora smiled a little. "Should we run away, Captain?" Lee Dae-ho almost smiled too. "No. Let's see what they want." The 4 humans kept working like nothing was wrong. They didn't call for help. They didn't change course. They didn't even raise their shields. This confused the pirates. Every other species they had attacked showed fear. They ran away or prepared to fight. These beings did nothing. "Captain," said Zixtal, "they know we're here, but they're not doing anything." "Maybe they're just stupid," Thexvor replied. But even he was starting to feel strange about this attack. Suddenly, the small ship sent a message. Choi Yuna's voice came through the speakers. Her voice was calm and friendly. "Unknown vessel, this is Captain Lee Dae-ho of the merchant ship Soul's Pride. We see you there in the gas cloud. Do you need help?" The pirates looked at each other in surprise. The prey was talking to them first? Thexvor grabbed the communication device. "This is Captain Thexvor of the Blood Talon. You will stop your engines and prepare to be boarded." "May I ask why?" Lee Dae-ho's voice was still calm. "Because I'm a pirate, and you're my prize." There was a pause. Then Lee Dae-ho spoke again. "I see. Well, that's honest. What exactly do you want from us?" Thexvor was confused. Every other captain had begged or threatened by now. This one sounded like they were discussing the weather. "I want your cargo and your ship." "Our cargo is just rare metals. Nothing special, and our ship is pretty old. I'll decide what's valuable." "Of course, you're the expert here," Zixtal whispered to his captain. "Sir, this doesn't feel right. They're too calm." "They're probably just scared," Thexvor whispered back. But he wasn't sure. The Blood Talon moved, out of the gas cloud. It was huge compared to the little cargo ship. Its hull was black and covered with weapons. Missile tubes, energy cannons, and plasma guns pointed in all directions. It looked like a metal monster. But the humans on Soul's Pride didn't panic. They just watched it approach. "That's a big ship," Park Woo-jin said. "Yes, it is," Lee Dae-ho agreed. "How many crew do you think it has?" "Maybe 300, Kim So-ra guessed. "Poor things," said Choi Yu-na softly. This comment would have confused the pirates if they had heard it. Why would prey feel sorry for predators? "Attention, Soul's Pride." Thexvor's voice came through the speakers again. "Cut your engines now. I'm sending boarding pods." "Understood," Lee Dae-ho replied. "We'll wait for you in our cargo bay." The human captain turned to his crew. "Everyone ready?" Kim So-ra nodded. "Navigation systems are ready." Park Woo-jin checked his console. "Engineering is ready," Choi Yu-na smiled. "Communications are ready." "Good," said Lee Dae-ho. "Remember, we're just peaceful traders carrying simple cargo." "Of course, Captain," Kim So-ra said with a tiny smile. "Should we show them why Earth ships are different?" Lee Dae-ho thought for a moment. "Not yet. Let them get close first. I want to see what we're dealing with." The boarding pods launched from the Blood Talon. 3 small ships flew toward Soul's Pride. Each pod carried 10 armed pirates. On his bridge, Thexvor watched the pods fly across space. This should be easy. 30 armed warriors against 4 traders. The fight would be over in minutes. But something still felt wrong. The small ship had not tried to run. It had not called for help. It had not even raised its shields. What kind of traders were these? The boarding pods reached Soul's Pride and attached to its hull. The pirates began cutting through the airlock. "Sir," said Zixtal, "the cutting is taking longer than usual." "What do you mean?" "Their hull is much thicker than it should be. It's like they have extra armor." Thexvor frowned. Maybe they've been attacked before and added protection. But even as he said it, he didn't believe it. Something was very wrong with this attack. The airlocks finally opened. The pirates poured into the ship expecting to find frightened aliens hiding in corners. Instead, they found 4 humans waiting calmly in the cargo bay. The humans stood in a line, their hands visible and empty. They looked like they were welcoming guests to a party. "Hello," said Lee Dae-ho with a polite smile. "Welcome aboard Soul's Pride. I'm Captain Lee Dae-ho. These are my crew members, Kim So-ra, Park Woo-jin, and Choi Yu-na." The pirates stared at them. In 20 years of piracy, they had never seen anything like this. The hunt had begun, but who was hunting whom? Krexmar led the boarding party into the cargo bay of Soul's Pride. He was Thexivor's best warrior, with thick gray skin and 4 arms. Each arm held a different weapon. His red eyes scanned the room for threats, but all he saw were 4 calm humans standing in a neat line. "You are our prisoners," Krexmar announced in his deep voice. "Get on your knees." Lee Daeho tilted his head slightly. "May I ask your name first? It's polite to know who we're dealing with." Krexmar blinked in surprise. No prisoner had ever asked his name before. "I am Krexmar, war leader of the Blood Talon." "Nice to meet you, Krexmar," Lee Daeho said with a small bow. "As I said, I'm Lee Daeho. We're humans from Earth." "Earth?" one of the other pirates whispered. "Never heard of it." "It's a Class 12 death world," Kim Sora said helpfully. "Very dangerous place to live." The pirates looked confused. They had heard stories about Deathworlders, but most aliens thought they were just myths. Planets too dangerous for life to exist. "You don't look dangerous," Krexmar said. Park Woo-jin smiled. "That's the point." Krexmar didn't know what to make of this answer. He spoke into his communication device. "Captain Thexvor, we have secured the ship. The crew is strange." "Strange how?" came Thexvor's voice. "They're too calm, and they claim to be from something called a death world." Back on the Blood Talon, Thexvor frowned. "Just search the ship. Find out what they're carrying." "Yes, sir." Krexmar pointed at his warriors. "Search everywhere. Look for weapons, valuable cargo, anything useful." The pirates spread out through the ship. But as they moved through the corridors, they noticed things that didn't make sense. The walls were much thicker than normal. The metal looked stronger than it should be for a simple cargo ship. And everywhere they looked, they saw extra panels and hidden spaces. "This ship has too many rooms," one pirate reported. "The layout doesn't match the outside size." Another pirate was looking at the cargo hold. "Captain Krexmar, you need to see this." Krexmar walked over to where the pirate was standing. The cargo hold was full of metal boxes, but something was wrong. "These containers are too heavy," the pirate said. "I can barely move one." Choi Yu-na overheard this. "Oh, those are rare earth metals from our mining colonies. Very dense materials." "What kind of metals?" Krexmar asked. "Tungsten, titanium, some uranium isotopes, standard mining exports." Park Woo-jin added, "We also have some fabrication materials. You know, for making tools and equipment." Krexmar didn't know much about mining, but he knew valuable metals when he saw them. "These will bring good money." "Probably," Lee Daeho agreed. "Though I should warn you, some of those materials can be dangerous if you don't handle them properly." "Dangerous? How?" "Well, uranium can be radioactive, and some of the fabrication materials are designed to change shape when heated. They might break your storage containers." Krexmar felt a chill run down his spine. The humans were giving him warnings about their own cargo. Why would prisoners help their captors? On the bridge of the Blood Talon, Zixtal was running more detailed scans of the human ship. What he found made him very nervous. "Captain," he called to Thexvor, "I'm getting some very strange readings from that ship." "What kind of readings?" "The power systems are much more complex than they should be, and there are spaces in the ship that my scanners can't penetrate." "Shielded cargo?" "Maybe. But Captain, I'm also detecting multiple power sources." "Most ships have one main reactor. This ship has at least 6 different power systems running." Thexvor walked over to look at the scanner display. "Why would a cargo ship need 6 power systems?" "I don't know, sir. But there's more. The ship's computer systems are much more advanced than they appear. And the hull, Captain, parts of this ship are built like a warship." Back on Soul's Pride, the pirates continued their search. They found living quarters, a small kitchen, and what looked like a normal engine room. But everywhere they looked, they found things that seemed slightly wrong. The beds were built into the walls like military bunks. The kitchen had emergency food supplies for much longer than a normal trade run. And the engine room had equipment they didn't recognize. "What is this machine?" a pirate asked Park Woo-jin, pointing at a large device. "Oh, that's our fabrication unit," Park Woo-jin replied, casually. "We use it to make spare parts during long trips. It looks very advanced. Basic Earth technology. Every ship has one, but the pirate had been on hundreds of ships from dozens of species. He had never seen anything like this machine." Krexamar was getting more confused by the minute. These humans answered every question, but their answers only made things stranger. "How long have you been traveling?" he asked Lee Dae-ho. "About 3 months from Earth. That's a very long journey." "Not too bad. Earth ships are built for long trips. And you're not afraid of us?" Lee Dae-ho considered this question carefully. "Should we be afraid? We are pirates. We kill people who don't cooperate." "I see. Well, we're cooperating, aren't we?" Krexmar didn't know how to answer this. The humans were cooperating, but they acted like they were in control of the situation. Kim So-ra was looking at one of the pirates' weapons. "That's an interesting plasma rifle. Old Valaxian design, right? Probably 15 years old." The pirate holding the weapon stared at her. "How do you know about Valaxian weapons?" "We study different alien technologies. It helps us understand who we might meet during our travels." "You study us?" Choi Yuna nodded. "Of course. We've been tracking your ship since you entered the nebula. 17 vessels in your fleet, right? The Blood Talon is your flagship, built about 30 years ago. You've been operating in this sector for 8 years. The pirates looked at each other in shock. How did these humans know so much about them? Krexmar spoke into his communicator again. "Captain, we have a problem." "What now?" "These humans know too much about us. They've been watching our fleet." Dexvor's voice became angry. "That's impossible. We would have detected any spy ships." "I don't think they used spy ships, Captain. I think they've been collecting information in other ways." Park Woo-jin overheard this conversation. "Actually, we use long-range passive scanners. We can monitor radio communications and energy signatures from very far away. Standard human practice when entering unknown space." "You spy on everyone?" Krexmar asked. "We prefer to call it gathering intelligence for our safety," Choi Yuna said. "We like to know who our neighbors are." The pirates were starting to feel very uncomfortable. They had thought they were the hunters, but these humans seemed to know everything about them. "How many human ships are in this area?" Krexmar demanded. Lee Dae-ho smiled politely. "Just us," but something in his tone made Krexmar doubt this answer. On the Blood Talon, Zixtal was scanning space around them more carefully. "Captain, I'm detecting some strange energy signatures." "Where?" "All around us. Very faint, but they're there." Thexvor felt cold fear creeping into his heart. "How many signatures?" "I'm not sure. The readings keep changing. It's like something is hiding from our scanners." Back on Soul's Pride, one of the pirates pointed his weapon at Park Woo-jin's head. "Tell us the truth, human. How many of your ships are out there?" Park Woo-jin looked at the weapon with interest rather than fear. "That's a Mark 7 plasma rifle. The energy cell is probably running low. I can see the charge indicator is yellow. You should be careful with old weapons like that. They sometimes explode when the power runs out." The pirate looked down at his weapon in alarm. The charge indicator was indeed yellow. "How did you know that?" he asked. "We study weapons too," Park Woo-jin said. "Humans have to understand the tools of violence. Our world taught us that." "What kind of world were you from?" Krexmar asked. Kim So-ra answered this time. "Earth is what you might call a very competitive planet. Everything there tries to kill everything else. The weather, the animals, the plants, even some of the rocks are dangerous." "How do you survive on such a world?" "We learn to be very good at staying alive," Lee Dae-ho said simply. Choi Yuna was making notes on a small device. "This is fascinating. First contact with Valaxian pirates. We'll need to document everything for the Earth Council." "What Earth Council?" Krexmar demanded. "Oh, it's our government. They like to know about new species we meet, especially predator species." The pirates didn't like being called predators by their prey. Krexmar was about to ask more questions when alarms started ringing on the Blood Talon. His communicator crackled to life. All boarding parties, return to ship immediately. Thexavor's voice was full of panic. We have multiple contacts closing on our position. Krexmar looked at the 4 calm humans. What's happening? Lee Daeho checked a device on his wrist. Oh, I think our friends have arrived. What friends? The ones who've been waiting for you to reveal your position. For the first time since the attack began, Krexmar understood that he and his pirates were in terrible danger. But he still didn't understand how 4 peaceful traders had turned into the most frightening opponents he had ever faced. The hunters were about to become the hunted. Krexmar grabbed Lee Daeho by the arm. What ships are coming? Tell me now. Lee Daeho looked down at the gray hand holding his arm. You're hurting me a little. Could you please let go? Something in the human's voice made Krexmar release his grip immediately. He couldn't explain why, but touching the human felt dangerous. Answer my question, Krexmar demanded. Those are other human ships, Lee Daeho said calmly. We don't travel alone in dangerous space. On the blood talon, Thexvor was staring at his scanner screen in horror. 12 new contacts had appeared around his fleet. They had come from nowhere, like ghosts becoming solid. Where did they come? From? He shouted at Zixtal. I don't know, Captain. They just appeared. Our scanners show nothing, then suddenly they're there. What kind of ships are they? Zixtal studied his readings. They look like cargo haulers, similar to the one we're boarding. Just traders? I don't think so, Captain. They're moving in military formation, and they're surrounding us. Thexvor felt his blood turn cold. His pirate fleet had 17 ships, but they were spread out across the nebula hunting for prey. Only his ship was here now. Call all ships back to my position, he ordered. Already trying, Captain. But something is jamming our communications. Back on Soul's Pride, Choi Yu-na was working at her small device. Sorry about the communication problems, she said to Krexmar. We had to make sure your other ships couldn't interfere. You're jamming our signals? It's a standard human practice. We call it battlefield control. Park Woo-jin looked up from where he was sitting. We learned it from our wars on Earth. Always control the flow of information. What wars? Krexmar asked, though he wasn't sure he wanted to know. Kim So-ra answered. Oh, humans fight each other a lot. We've had thousands of wars. Big ones, small ones. Wars that lasted for years. You fight your own species? Of course. How else do you learn to fight other species? The pirate stared at her. Most alien races had small conflicts, but these humans talked about war like it was normal. How many humans have died in your wars? One pirate asked. Choi Yu-na checked her device. In the last century? About 50 million. The pirates couldn't believe this number. 50 million deaths would wipe out most alien civilizations completely. That's impossible, Krexmar said. Not really, Lee Daeho replied. Earth has about 8 billion humans. We can afford to lose a few million and still have plenty left. The pirates felt sick. These calm, polite beings came from a world so violent that 50 million deaths was considered normal. But we learned from all that fighting, Park Woo-jin added. We got very good at warfare. What did you learn? Krexmar asked, though he feared the answer. Many things, Kim So-ra said. We learned that the best weapons are the ones your enemy can't see. We learned that information is more valuable than guns, and we learned that the side that plans better usually wins. Is that why you hide your weapons? Lee Daeho nodded. If your enemy knows what you can do, they can prepare for it, but if they think you're weak, they make mistakes. Krexmar was starting to understand. You wanted us to attack you. We needed you to reveal your positions, Choi Yu-na explained. Your fleet was too spread out. We couldn't find all your ships. So you used yourselves as bait. It's an old human strategy, Park Woo-jin said. Sometimes the best way to catch a predator is to act like prey. On the blood talon, the situation was getting worse. The 12 human ships had moved closer. They weren't attacking, but they weren't backing away either. Captain, Zixtal reported, they're sending us a message. Put it on the speakers. A human voice filled the bridge. It was calm and professional. Valaxian vessel Blood Talon, this is Captain Han Minsu of the Earth defense ship Busan's Honor. You will stop all hostile actions immediately. Earth defense ship, Thexvor whispered. Captain, Zixtal said quietly, I don't think these are cargo haulers. Thexvor grabbed the communication device. This is Captain Thexvor. We are conducting legal salvage operations. Negative, came the reply. You are conducting acts of piracy against civilian vessels. This will stop now. You can't order me around, human. Actually, we can. You are outnumbered and outgunned. Surrender your boarding party and withdraw from this sector. Thexvor laughed, but it sounded forced. 12 cargo ships against my war fleet? You're insane. Captain Thexvor, the human voice continued, we have been monitoring your operations for 3 months. We know the location of all 17 of your vessels. We know your attack patterns, your hiding places, and your weaknesses. This is your only chance to surrender peacefully. How can you know all that? Back on Soul's Pride, Lee Daeho heard this question through Krexmar's communicator. We're very good at watching, he explained to the confused pirates. Humans had to learn to be careful. On our world, everything is trying to kill you, the big animals, the small animals, the weather, diseases, even other humans. So you watch everything? We watch, we listen, we remember, and we plan, Kim So-ra said. It's how we stayed alive long enough to build spaceships. Park Woo-jin stood up and walked to one of the cargo containers. Would you like to see what we really brought with us? Before Krexmar could answer, Park pressed something on the container. The metal box opened with a soft hiss. Inside were not rare metals. Instead, the container was full of weapons, ammunition, and equipment the pirates had never seen before. Fabrication complete, announced a computer voice from the container. What is that? Krexmar demanded. This is a mobile weapons factory, Park Woo-jin explained. While we were talking, it was building guns, bullets, and other useful items. You've been making weapons this whole time? Of course. We never stop preparing for a fight. Choi Yu-na opened another container. This one was full of strange electronic equipment. And this is our intelligence gathering system. We've been recording everything about your ships and your crew. Why? Information, Lee Daeho said. We need to understand who we're dealing with before we decide what to do with you. What do you mean, what to do with us? Kim So-ra looked sad. That depends on you. Some species can learn to be better. Others can't. Better how? Less violent. More protective of innocent people. Krexmar couldn't believe what he was hearing. You want to change us? We want to give you a choice, Lee Daeho said. You can keep being pirates and face the consequences. Or you can help us protect the trade routes. Protect them from what? From other pirates, from raiders, from anyone who hurts innocent traders. The idea was impossible to understand. These humans wanted to turn predators into protectors. On the Blood Talon, Thexvor was getting desperate. I don't believe you have 17 ship locations, prove it, the human voice replied immediately. Your ship Dark Wind is hiding behind the third moon of Kaleth Prime. Your ship Bloodseeker is in the asteroid field near marker buoy 7. Your ship Starkiller is... The voice continued listing ship names and exact locations. Every single one was correct. Zixtal looked at his captain with fear. Sir, how could they know all this? Your ship Void Hunter took damage to its port engine 3 days ago. The human voice continued. Your ship Deathbringer is running low on food supplies. Your ship Paingiver has a sick crew member who needs medical attention. Thexvor sat down heavily in his chair. These humans knew everything about his fleet. Things that should have been impossible to know. How? He whispered. We are very good at gathering information, Captain Thexvor. We had to be. Our world taught us that knowledge is survival. Back on Soul's Pride, Krexmar was staring at the humans with new understanding. You're not traitors. We are traitors, Lee Daeho corrected. But we're also soldiers and scientists and explorers. Humans have to be many things to survive. What are you really doing out here? Choi Yu-na answered. We're exploring, meeting new species, learning about the galaxy. And stopping pirates, Park Woo-jin added. Why do you care about stopping pirates? Kim So-ra looked surprised by the question. Because piracy hurts innocent people. Humans protect innocence. It's what we do. Even alien innocence? Especially alien innocence, Lee Dae-ho said. They can't protect themselves from predators like you. Krexamar felt something he had never experienced before. These humans were not afraid of him. They were disappointed in him. The communication device crackled again. Captain Thexavor, what is your decision? Will you surrender peacefully, or do? We need to take stronger action. Thexavor looked around his bridge. His crew was frightened, his ships were scattered and outnumbered, and these humans seemed to know everything. What's stronger action? He asked. We disable your ships without killing your crews. Then we turn you over to the Galactic Trade Commission for trial. And if we surrender, we talk. We see if you can learn to be something better than pirates. Thexavor had never heard of pirates becoming anything else. But he was beginning to understand that humans did many things that other species thought were impossible. The question was, did he want to find out what those things were? Thexavor stared at his communication device for a long moment. Around him, his bridge crew waited in silence. They had never seen their captain look so confused and frightened. What are your terms? Thexavor finally asked. The human voice was patient. First, release your boarding party from the merchant vessel. Second, order all your ships to gather at your position with weapons powered down. Third, we talk. And if I refuse? Then we show you what human ships really look like when they stop pretending to be cargo haulers. On Soul's Pride, Lee Dae-ho walked to a wall panel that looked like all the others. He pressed his hand against it. Computer, begin transformation sequence. Transformation sequence initiated, replied a synthetic voice. Krexmar and his pirates watched in amazement as the walls around them began to change. Panels slid away to reveal hidden weapon racks. The floor opened up to show ammunition storage. The ceiling dropped down to expose targeting systems. What's happening? Krexmar demanded. We're showing you what we really are, Kim So-ra said, calmly. Outside the ship, the hull of Soul's Pride was also changing. Sections that had looked like simple cargo storage opened like flower petals. Inside were weapons that the pirates had never seen before. Long metal tubes that gleamed with deadly purpose, energy projectors that hummed with power. Park Woo-jin was working at a console that had risen from the floor. Railgun batteries online, missile systems armed, energy shields at full power. The small, defenseless cargo ship had become a warship that could destroy anything in space. On the Blood Talon, Zixtal was staring at his scanner readings in disbelief. Captain, the human ship it's completely different now. Different how? It's showing weapon signatures that are stronger than our main guns. Much stronger. Thexavor looked at the scanner display. The small ship that his boarding party was on now showed enough firepower to destroy his entire fleet. How is that possible? I don't know, sir. It's like the ship was hiding its true nature. Through the communication system, they heard the calm human voice again. Captain Thexavor, 11 other ships in our group are also undergoing transformation. Would you like to see what a human battle fleet looks like? No, Thexavor said quickly. No, I believe you. But it was too late. Around the Blood Talon, the other human ships were also changing. Each cargo hauler revealed weapons that could punch holes through planets, energy shields that could stop anything the pirates might fire at them. Back on Soul's Pride, Krexmar was trying to understand what he was seeing. You lied to us, he said to Lee Dae-ho. No, the human captain replied. We told you we were traders, we are. We told you we carried cargo, we do. We just didn't mention that our cargo includes enough weapons to protect half the galaxy. Why do you need so many weapons? Choi Yuna looked up from her new control station. Because humans learned something important on Earth. The universe is full of dangerous things. If you want to protect the people you care about, you need to be more dangerous than everything else. But you seem so peaceful. We are peaceful, Park Woo-jin said. That's why we carry big weapons. Peace through superior firepower is an old human saying. Kim So-ra was checking weapon systems. We don't want to hurt anyone, but if someone insists on hurting innocent people, we're very good at stopping them. Krexmar looked at the weapons surrounding him. Each one could probably destroy his entire ship. How many humans are there on these ships? About 50 total, Lee Dae-ho answered. 50 humans with weapons to fight thousands of pirates? We don't plan to fight thousands of pirates, Choi Yuna explained. We plan to make those pirates decide they don't want to be pirates anymore. How? Lee Dae-ho walked to another panel. Computer, show our guests the educational display. A screen appeared in the air above them. It showed images from Earth. Cities with millions of humans. Factories building spaceships. Schools teaching children about the galaxy. This is our home, Lee Dae-ho said. 8 billion humans who work together to build things, explore space, and protect each other. The images changed to show human soldiers. Millions of them with weapons and ships that made the pirates' equipment look like toys. This is our military, Kim So-ra added. We don't bring our full army to fight pirates. We just bring enough to teach them better behavior. And if pirates don't learn? Krexmar asked. The images changed again. Now they showed destroyed pirate bases, captured raider fleets, and empty space where criminal organizations used to hide. Then they stopped being pirates, Park Woo-jin said simply. Krexmar felt cold fear in his stomach. These humans weren't just traders with hidden weapons. They were representatives of a civilization that could wipe out his entire species if they wanted to. Why haven't you conquered the galaxy? He asked. Why would we want to? Lee Dae-ho seemed genuinely puzzled. Conquering is a lot of work, and ruling other people is boring. We prefer to explore and trade. But you're so powerful. Power isn't for conquest, Choi Yuna said. Power is for protection. The communication system crackled again. Captain Thexvor, we're detecting movement from your other ships. Please tell them to approach slowly with weapons powered down. On the Blood Talon, Thexvor could see his fleet ships arriving, but now he understood that his 17 vessels were facing 50 humans who had enough firepower to destroy entire star systems. All ships, this is Captain Thexvor, he broadcast to his fleet. Power down all weapons, approach slowly, do not take any hostile actions. Captain? Came confused voices from his other ships. Are we surrendering? Thexvor looked at the human ships surrounding him. Each one was now revealing weapons that could have won every battle he had ever fought. Yes, he said quietly, we are surrendering, and we're going to listen to what these humans have to say. Back on Seoul's Pride, Krexmar watched as his pirate fleet arrived. Each ship looked small and weak compared to the human vessels. What happens now? He asked. Now we talk, Lee Dae-ho said. We explain how things are going to change in this part of space. Change how? Kim So-ra smiled, but it wasn't a mean smile. Pirates who hurt innocent people will be stopped. Traders who need protection will get it. And anyone who wants to learn a better way of living will be taught. You want to teach us? We want to give you a choice, Park Woo-jin explained. Keep being pirates and face human justice, or learn to protect people instead of hurting them. Why would you teach your enemies? Choi Yuna looked surprised. You're not our enemies. You're just people who haven't learned better ways yet. Krexmar stared at her. We attacked you. We threatened to kill you. Yes, you did. But that doesn't make you evil. It just makes you ignorant. Ignorant of what? Lee Dae-ho walked over to the view screen. It showed the space around them, filled with human and pirate ships. You're ignorant of what the galaxy can be, he said. You think it's a place where the strong prey on the weak. But it can be a place where the strong protect the weak. How? By choosing to be protectors instead of predators. Krexmar looked around at his pirates. They were all listening to this conversation. He could see confusion and fear in their faces, but also something else. Hope. Would you really teach us? He asked. If you want to learn, Kim So-ra said. Humans believe that anyone can change if they want to. Even pirates? Especially pirates, Park Woo-jin said. You already know how to fight. You just need to learn what to fight for. The communication system activated again. All vessels, this is Captain Han Min-soo. Pirate fleet, you will form a convoy with our ships. We're going to have a long conversation about your future. What if we don't like what you have to say, came a voice from one of the pirate ships. Then you're free to leave, the human captain replied. But you won't be free to hurt innocent people anymore. We'll make sure of that. Krexmar realized that the humans had given his people something no one had ever offered before. A choice. To become something better. The question was whether they were brave enough to take it. 3 hours later, the pirate fleet and the human ships moved together through space. They looked like an odd parade. Warships disguised as cargo haulers leading a group of confused criminals toward an uncertain future. On the Bridge of the Blood, Talon Thexivor sat in his captain's chair, but he no longer felt like a captain. The humans had not taken control of his ship, but somehow he felt like he was no longer in charge of his own destiny. Captain, Zixtal said quietly. What are we doing? I don't know, Thexivor admitted, but I think we're about to find out. Through the communication system, the human voice spoke again. All ships, we're approaching the meeting point. Pirate vessels will dock with our ships for discussions. Dock with your ships? Thexivor asked. Why? Because we have food, medical, supplies, and comfortable places to talk. Also, our ships have better meeting rooms. This was not what Thexivor had expected. These humans were treating his pirates like guests, not prisoners. On Soul's Pride, Krexmar and his boarding party were already experiencing human hospitality. Choyuna had given them something called coffee, which was a hot drink that tasted better than anything they had ever consumed. This is amazing, one of the pirates said, holding his cup carefully. We grow coffee beans on 17 different planets, Park Woo-jin explained. Each planet makes the coffee taste a little different. You have 17 planets? Krexmar asked. Oh no, Kim So-ra laughed. We have hundreds of planets, but only 17 grow good coffee. The pirate stared at her. Hundreds of planets? Most alien species were happy to control 3 or 4 worlds. How many humans are there in the galaxy? Krexmar asked. About 200 billion, Lee Dae-ho answered, casually. Plus maybe 50 billion humans who live on space stations and ships. Krexmar nearly dropped his coffee. 200 billion? Humans reproduce quickly and live for a long time, Choi Yuna explained. Also, we're very good at not dying in space. Are you going to bring all those humans here to fight us? Lee Dae-ho looked confused. Why would we do that? You're not a threat to humanity. You're just 17 ships with maybe 5,000 crew members total. Then why do you care about stopping us? Because you hurt innocent traders? Kim So-ra said simply. And humans don't like it when innocent people get hurt. Even alien people? Especially alien people. They're far from their homes and families. They need protection more than anyone. Over the next several hours, pirates from every ship in the fleet came aboard the human vessels. They expected prison cells and interrogation rooms. Instead, they found comfortable chairs, good food, and humans who seemed genuinely interested in talking with them. Captain Han Min-soo met with Thexivor on the bridge of the Busan's honor. The ISO human ship's bridge was 3 times bigger than the pirate ship's, with advanced equipment that Thexivor couldn't even identify. Your ship is very impressive, Thexivor said carefully. Thank you, Han Min-soo replied. It was built to explore unknown space and protect human merchants. We've been using it to study this region for 6 months. 6 months? We never saw you. We're very good at not being seen when we don't want to be. Han Min-soo walked to a large display screen. It showed a map of the entire Kaleth Nebula region. For 8 years, your fleet has controlled this area, the human said. You've attacked over 300 merchant vessels from dozens of different species. Those were successful raids, Thexivor said with some pride. They were crimes, Han Min-soo corrected gently, and they stopped innocent people from trading with each other. Trading is how civilizations grow and learn from each other. When you stop trade, you hurt everyone. Thexivor had never thought about this before. To him, merchant ships were just sources of wealth to be taken. "What do you want us to do?" he asked. "We want you to protect the trade routes instead of attacking them." "Protect them from what?" Han Min-soo touched the display screen. New symbols appeared on the map. Other pirate groups, slave raiders, hostile alien species that attack anyone they meet. "You want us to fight other pirates?" "We want you to choose what kind of people you want to be." The human captain walked to another part of the bridge. "Look at this." The screen now showed images of the merchant ships that Thexvor's fleet had attacked. But instead of just showing the damage, it showed the people on those ships. Families of alien traders, young aliens learning their family business, old aliens making their final trading runs before retirement. "These are the people you hurt," Han Min-soo said. Thexvor looked at the faces on the screen. He had never thought of his victims as real people with families and dreams. "Some of them died because of your attacks," the human continued. "Others lost everything they owned. Many were so frightened that they stopped trading altogether." I didn't know." "Now you do. The question is, what will you do with this knowledge?" Meanwhile, on the other human ships, similar conversations were happening. Pirates who had spent years taking from others were learning about the lives they had destroyed. But the humans weren't just showing them the damage they had caused, they were also showing them what they could become. "You know how to fight," Lee Daeho told Krexmar. "You know how to operate ships in dangerous space. You know how to find hidden threats." "Yes. Those are exactly the skills needed to protect merchant convoys. You want us to become guards? We want you to become protectors." Choi Yuna showed Krexmar images of human security forces. "This is what human protection fleets look like. They escort trade convoys, fight off raiders, and rescue ships in distress. And you would trust us to do this?" "Trust is earned," Kim Sora said. "But everyone deserves a chance to earn it." Park Woo-jin added, "Besides, we'll be working together for a while, human ships and reformed pirate ships, protecting this region together." "You're going to stay here?" "Some of us will. Others will move on to explore new areas, but there will always be humans here to make sure the trade routes stay safe." As the hours passed, something remarkable happened. The pirates began to understand what the humans were offering them. Not punishment for their crimes, but a chance to make up for those crimes by protecting the very people they had once hurt. Some pirates couldn't accept this idea. They asked to be released and promised to leave the region forever. The humans let them go but warned them that any return to piracy would bring swift human justice. But most of the pirates, including Thexvor and Krexmar, chose to stay and learn. "Why?" Thexvor asked Han Min-soo. "Why give us this chance?" "Because humans believe that people can change," the human captain replied. "We believe that someone who was a predator can become a protector." "How do you know this is possible?" Han Min-soo smiled. "Because humans used to be predators too. On our world, we fought each other for thousands of years. We were very good at killing and taking from each other." "What changed?" "We learned that protecting each other was better than fighting each other. We learned that building things together was more satisfying than destroying things alone." "And now you want to teach us the same lesson?" "We want to give you the same choice we made. You can keep being predators or you can become protectors." 6 months later, the Kaleth Nebula was a very different place. The former pirate fleet now worked alongside human ships to protect merchant convoys. Thexvor had learned to feel proud when a trader thanked him for safe passage, instead of when he successfully robbed them. Krexmar had become an expert at finding hidden raiders and stopping them before they could attack innocent ships. He discovered that protecting people felt much better than hurting them. The trade routes that had been dangerous for 8 years were now the safest in the galaxy. Merchant ships from dozens of species traveled through the nebula without fear. And in the middle of this protected space, human and alien crews worked together on space stations that provided fuel, repairs, and safe places for traders to rest. "Still don't understand you humans," Thexvor said to Han Min-soo as they watched a convoy of grateful merchants pass by their station. "What don't you understand? You could have destroyed us, instead you saved us. Han Minsu looked out at the peaceful space around them. Destroying things is easy. Saving things is hard. But saving things is what makes the galaxy worth living in. Is this why you keep your weapons hidden? Yes, the human said. We hide our weapons because we hope we'll never need to use them. But when innocent people need protection, we'll always be ready. Thexfor nodded slowly. He was beginning to understand what it meant to be human. It meant being strong enough to destroy your enemies, but wise enough to turn them into friends instead. The galaxy was a safer place because humans had learned that the greatest weapon was not the ability to kill, but the choice to protect. And in the Kaleth Nebula, former pirates had learned that lesson too.